What if the secret to becoming truly powerful, the kind of power that emanates from you without a word, was to be utterly, completely alone? I'm not talking about temporary loneliness, but a profound, chosen solitude. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? In a world obsessed with networking, collaboration, and social proof, the idea of walking your own path seems like a recipe for failure. But what if it's the only recipe for true greatness? This is the hidden, unbreakable link between a 19th century German philosopher who declared God was dead and a 17th century, undefeated Japanese samurai who lived and breathed by the edge of his blade. Two masters who found the same truth in solitude. On one side of this incredible parallel, we have Friedrich Nietzsche, the brilliant, often misunderstood thinker with the wild mustache who gave the world the concept of the Übermensch, or the overman, a future human who creates their own values and lives life as a work of art. And on the other, Miyamoto Musashi, a name that echoes through history as perhaps the greatest swordsman who ever lived. A man who, from the age of 13, fought over 60 life-or-death duels and never once tasted defeat. He walked a solitary path, a ronin with no master but his own discipline. These two men were separated by 200 years and thousands of miles. One fought his battles on the pages of philosophy, the other on blood-soaked fields. But they both arrived at the exact same, terrifying and ultimately liberating conclusion about the human spirit. To achieve true mastery, to become a force of nature that shapes the world around you instead of being shaped by it, you must first learn to walk entirely by yourself. This is the path of the lone wolf, and it begins by understanding the subtle prison of the herd. Nietzsche had a name for this prison. He called it herd morality. It's the invisible fence that keeps us all huddled together in the same pasture of predictable thoughts and acceptable behaviors. It's the collective voice of society, whispering the same seductive lies. Be nice, fit in. Don't make waves. Follow the well-trodden path. It's the constant, immense pressure to conform, to smooth out your unique, jagged edges, to be safe, predictable, and ultimately average. We are taught from birth that our value comes from how well we integrate. We crave that acceptance. We desperately want to belong to the tribe. It's a deep-seated evolutionary impulse. But then, a dangerous transaction occurs. We start making small compromises. We silence a bold idea in a meeting to avoid conflict. Before you know it, your life is no longer your own authentic expression. It's a carefully curated performance for an audience you're constantly trying to please. You are living by a script written by a committee, and the hidden cost, the ultimate sacrifice of your own unique potential for greatness. Both Nietzsche and Musashi saw this gilded cage of social approval for what it was, and with immense courage, they both chose to smash the lock and walk out into the wilderness alone. They understood that the warm comfort of the herd was the mortal enemy of individual mastery. Just look at the life of Musashi. At a young age, he made a decision so radical it's almost incomprehensible today. He renounced all worldly attachments. He embarked on his Musha Shugyo, a warrior's pilgrimage. He walked the length and breadth of feudal Japan, a solitary figure with nothing but his two swords, his incredible skill, and a will forged from pure iron. To the villagers he passed, he must have seemed like a demon, a wild outcast. But they fundamentally misunderstood his purpose. His solitude wasn't a punishment or an escape. It was a forge. Every moment alone was a moment spent sharpening his mind and hardening his body. He had no one to rely on, so he was forced to become utterly reliable himself. In the profound quiet of the mountains and forests, far from the distracting chatter of cities, he could focus on one singular thing: the way of the sword. He wasn't running from society. He was running toward his ultimate, most powerful self. He had to become his own unforgiving teacher, his own dedicated student, his own harshest judge. This intense, self-imposed isolation is what allowed him to deconstruct traditional swordsmanship and build a new style, a style so unique and unpredictable that no one could counter it. And this is where Nietzsche's philosophy snaps into perfect focus, providing the intellectual blueprint for Musashi's life. The samurai's journey was a living, breathing demonstration of creating your own values. When you voluntarily leave the herd, you are forced to leave their prepackaged values behind as well. Their definitions of success, of failure, of what is good and what is evil. It all becomes distant noise. And in that silence, a terrifying question emerges. What do I actually believe in? When no one is watching, when there are no likes to gain or promotions to win, what is my personal code of conduct? What does a successful day, a successful life mean to me, and me alone? This is the great and difficult work of the lone wolf. It is to build your own table of values, as Nietzsche so poetically put it. It's about consciously deciding what you will honor, what you will dedicate your life to, and what lines you will never cross. This goes far beyond simple rebellion. This is the deliberate architecture of a powerful soul. You stop inheriting your beliefs like second-hand furniture, and you start forging them in the blistering fire of your own lived experience. Your morality becomes your personal masterpiece. But, and this is the most critical part, solitude and new values are useless without the engine to drive them. This is where the hardest, most unglamorous part begins. The raw, relentless, daily discipline. Because when you walk alone, no one is there to push you, except yourself. Consider this line from Musashi's Decado, his path of aloneness. Do not regret what you have done. To live by such a creed, his every single action had to be deliberate, practiced, and impeccable. He would rise with the sun, practice thousands of cuts, study strategy, and meditate for hours. Day in, day out, no exceptions. This is the physical embodiment of Nietzsche's core concept of self-overcoming. It is the constant, daily, internal war against your own weakness. It's the brutal fight against your inner voice of laziness, against your fear of failure, against the whisper that begs for comfort. It's the will to power turned inwards. In our modern world, it's getting up at 5 a.m. when your warm bed feels like paradise. It's doing that one extra painful rep at the gym. It's choosing to read the difficult book instead of scrolling through meaningless feeds. It's choosing the hard path again and again and again, until the hard path becomes your only path. In the stark, echoing silence of your solitude, your discipline is the only sound you hear. It becomes the steady, powerful drumbeat that keeps you marching relentlessly toward mastery, while the rest of the world is distracted, asleep, or giving up. It is the proof of your commitment to yourself. Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand this. This path is not for everyone, and for those who try it without understanding its true purpose, it is filled with perilous dangers and psychological traps. Many who attempt this journey mistake solitude for misanthropy. They become bitter and resentful of the herd they left behind. They think walking alone means burning every bridge. But is that strength? Or is it just fear disguised as strength? This is a complete corruption of the ideal. True mastery isn't about hating the world. It's about becoming so internally strong, so self-sufficient, that you can finally engage with the world on your own terms, from a position of strength, not neediness. Remember, Musashi in his later years became a respected teacher, an author, and a sublime artist. The goal isn't to be a permanent outcast, forever howling at the moon. The goal is to go into the wilderness of the self to build an unshakable fortress of self-reliance, so that when you choose to return, nothing can shake your foundation. You become a source of strength. So after all this hardship, all this pain, all this lonely, thankless work, what is the ultimate reward? Freedom. It is the profound freedom from needing external validation. Your self-worth is no longer tied to likes, paychecks, or the approval of your peers. You know your own value intimately because you were the one who painstakingly built it, brick by painful brick. It is the incredible freedom from crippling fear. When you have faced the worst parts of yourself in the lonely darkness and emerged victorious, what external enemy can truly frighten you? The greatest battle has already been won. Inside. Ultimately, you stop being a passive object in the world and you become an active force. You become a force of nature. You move with an undeniable purpose. You are no longer a leaf, tossed about by chaotic winds, but the mountain that stands firm against any storm. This is the awesome power of Nietzsche's Übermensch and the indomitable spirit of the master swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi. It is an unshakable self-reliance forged in the white-hot crucible of solitude, a genuine strength that radiates from your very core. The path of the lone wolf, as laid out by both the philosopher and the warrior, is a defiant and deeply personal choice. It is the courageous choice to turn away from the comforting noise of the crowd. It's a grand journey into the undiscovered country of the self, a warrior's pilgrimage to find out what you are truly made of when all external supports are stripped away. It is brutally difficult. It is incredibly demanding. And it is not for the faint of heart, but for those few who dare to walk it, for those who are willing to embrace the silence and the struggle. It offers the ultimate prize, the complete mastery of oneself. So the next time you feel the irresistible pull of the crowd, the urge to conform, to fit in, to be liked, I want you to ask yourself a very honest question. Are you running towards comfort, or are you running away from your own immense power? What if the real secret to becoming truly powerful was to be utterly, completely alone?